How's it going, guys? So we're chopping second cutting alfalfa here today. I actually wasn't here the other day when we got it mowed off. My new brother-in-law Andrew was able to mow it, and my dad raked it this morning while I was feeding cows. Should be a pretty quick job here. The custom guys are here just getting started chopping. Even though we had so much dry weather, actually was decently tall. Last week we finally got some rain, so I think third cutting is going to be stronger. After we harvested first cutting, we interseeded some sorghum into this crop, but that stuff didn't even germinate. It was so dry. So you can see this cornfield here, we got a lot of weeds growing. These fields across this part of the farm here seem to be the worst. Grass is growing here. They're gonna be stealing nitrogen and moisture from the corn. Besides the harvest, the next order of business is to spray our second pass herbicide over this corn, kill off the weeds, and also we got some fertilizer to put on it. It seems like our residual herbicides didn't work as well this year because we didn't get any rain right after I sprayed it, and it kind of just sat on top. Once the corn gets bigger and it's shading the ground, then the weeds don't really grow. Just not growing as fast this year. That's also hurting us, just not creating that canopy as quickly. And I want to go scout out a couple other fields, see how everything looks. This was the first corn we planted. It was the same week as that other corn, just a few days before. Definitely looking a bit taller. This wasn't into the triticale stubble, and it's just a little bit more mellow soil. Seems to be better for growing corn. I do see some weeds coming in these fields as well. It's not near as bad. This section of the field was an alfalfa field before, which I tried to kill off, but there's still some growing here. Need to make sure I have something in there that'll take the alfalfa out. Just looking at another field here. Definitely not as many weeds in this one. Soybeans are really taking off now that they got some rain. I'm not gonna spray them this week, probably next week. Just checking this field, the lower end of our home farm. This was another field after triticale. It's usually a little bit tougher planting into this stubble, trying to no-till into that. A couple videos back I was talking about how no-till should help us by keeping the moisture in the soil on a dry year, because when you till up that soil it can help it to dry out. I was just talking with our neighbor. His corn actually looks quite a bit taller than ours, planted the same week. He chisel plows everything. I told him he's making me tempted to get a chisel plow again. I just got back from the herbicide store. Got glyphosate and atrazine we're gonna run, and then a product called Status we're gonna use on some of the acres. The haylage is already chopped, and we actually have two of our young guys that work for us up in the silo right now leveling it off. So I'm gonna go up there and check on how things are going. I'm gonna start filling my spray water tank first though. We got water running into the spray fill tank now. So normally I'd pull it out of here. This is coming from the well. They say that hard water can bind up some of the spray molecules and make it less effective. So I have this hose running over to my new house. We're gonna pull water from that water softener. We got the silo leveled off and the unloader's down. So we put this on top of the first cutting haylage, which was on top of the rye that was in here originally this spring. There was enough space here in the top again for us to just fit it in. So I just gotta set this gooseneck on here, and then this thing's ready to run. Rhonda and Rylan, a couple young guys, were helping fork. It should be ready to go now.
Are you ready for me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. So I want to start spraying corn then, but just stopped in the calving pens here. We just had two calves born this morning. Let's see what we got, a heifer or a bull calf here. Use some heifer calves. Yep, nice heifer calf. Another nice heifer calf. We got 3 bull calves to take to the sale barn today. Just gonna help my dad load these up. So we'll let her lick her calf off a little bit there. Gave her some fresh water. They usually like to chug water if we give them a bucket like that. And then she'll get milked here this afternoon. We'll feed her colostrum to the calf. I'm ready to load the sprayer now, so we got a couple different types of herbicide. and then 2 different types of fertilizer we're going to be putting together. Water tank should be about full. We got soft water in there. I'm going to switch over to the slow nozzles. Driving between the rows, I don't want to have to go too fast. All I got to do is spin these little triple nozzle bodies down to the other smaller nozzles. A foliar nitrogen product that I think works pretty well alongside the other fertilizer we use. This stuff's kind of syrupy, sticky stuff. Starting off in probably the weediest field. Just have alfalfa regrowth. Didn't die off very well. Got a herbicide called Status in this batch. Should do a really good job taking care of that. It's gonna take 3 loads to spray, and I only got enough Status for 1 load, so I'm gonna pick the worst fields. Moved on to a field now that we planted after the triticale, the spring forage here. This section of the field looks really nice, but it gets really spotty down that way farther. When I planted this corn, I was pretty happy with how it was planting straight into that root mass from the triticale. I think just since we got no rain after planting sidewalls, they just could have used some water to help kind of loosen things up. We're seeing the results of that now with some of this patchy corn. This is the field we were walking through this morning while they were chopping. We're feeling like we have room for improvement on our corn after the spring forage, so I think next spring we're going to see some new strategies, maybe a little bit more tillage, something to get this root mass broken up. This is a 750 gallon sprayer, 60-foot boom, so I can do 50 acres at a time, spraying at 15 gallons an acre. It's pretty nice. I can just adjust my rate with the controller here. Got the GPS tracking what I'm spraying. I gotta feed the cows soon. I'm just about done with this first batch. I got some nicer corn in this area. Not gonna complain about this stuff. Hey guys, a couple days have passed here since I got that spraying done, and it's actually the first day of summer and I got a sweatshirt on, but we got a little shower of rain overnight, a couple tenths. It's nice. We got a truckload of hay showing up any minute, so I'm gonna unload that once he shows up. And the cattle trailer's hooked. We got some work to do with that today then. We chop all of our hay up because it's easier to feed that way. The hay chopper's coming Monday then to process all those bales. So I got the cattle trailer backed in here. There's 4 cows I want to load up, take to the beef sale today. So this summer we're a little bit short on corn silage. We had plenty, we just fed quite a bit over the winter there because we were running short on triticale. Yeah, now we're just trying to make sure we don't run out until late August when we harvest again. We backed off the rate of silage a little bit. We're feeding a little more haylage, and we got soy hulls in the one bay there. That's saving some silage too, some good fiber. So we were talking about ways we could save feed, and just thought maybe there's some low-end cows that aren't quite earning their keep, probably aren't very profitable. Those we might want to just sell for beef right now. The beef price is really good. There's a list we get on the computer. It kind of predicts the profitability of each cow based on her production, and it kind of predicts how much feed she's eating, which is the hard thing to know for sure. Kind of gives you an idea of your least productive cows. I picked out maybe 8 cows that we're going to sell. Maybe do 4 today and then 4 on Monday next week. Generally speaking, you want to keep your barn full and maximize your facilities. It's kind of your set cost. So if we're not running at full capacity, generally that's not going to be the most profitable. But if you have some cows that aren't really earning their keep, you're better off selling those. Last year the milk price was really good, so every cow was profitable, but now with the milk price coming down, it's just becoming a little bit questionable with some of these cows. My dad's at a meeting right now, but I'm gonna see if I can get these cows sorted out and loaded up. So there's a couple in the special needs and then a couple out in the free stall. This cow here kind of has chronic mastitis. She's not sick or anything, but milk quality's not good. and she's not producing very well. The key with mastitis is prevention. Sometimes a cow will start having issues and won't get any better. Got 2 sorted out from the freestall. These 2 are just not producing very well. That one there's especially starting to get bigger. I'm heading to the sale barn now. Gives me a chance to see one of our rented farms. Crops look pretty good over here. Soybeans really taking off. I don't see any weeds coming up. The sale barn's not too far from us. I'll just back in there. They put some tags on their back and they'll get auctioned off here later today. There's 3 calves we want to move from the calf barn down to our heifer barn. I'm just going to put some fresh shavings in this trailer. Just filling up the calf feed tote here. So for years we were buying bags of calf feed, which were pretty handy for feeding, but cost a little bit more and you had to get smaller loads at a time. It's nice having a bulk bin full of calf feed. I think it was a good change we made this year. So we used to use feed bags that the mice would chew through. Just keep the lid on this tote, the mice don't get into it. It's not near as wasteful. We used to fill this trash can up with bags and throw them in the dumpster. Completely eliminated all that trash.